What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Everything Wrestling. Today, we will be going into episode 2 of our Royal Rumble Greatest Hits series. This one will cover the years between 1991 and 1995. If you haven't had a chance to check out uh, our episode 1, feel free to go back in our videos and check them out so that you can get caught up. But sit back, relax, and let us take you down nostalgia road as we go down. I would say this was actually the best set of 5 years of the Royal Rumble, in my personal opinion. So stay tuned and let's get this party started. First up, we are going back to 1991. Now, with this Royal Rumble, overall the match card was mediocre in my opinion, but uh, there were a couple of matches that stood out, and one of them being the match between Sergeant Slaughter and the Ultimate Warrior for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. And as you can see, the part that we recreated was when the Macho King came in and blasted Warrior with the scepter to actually cost him the world title. Now, this was actually one of the few Rumbles that Macho Man wasn't booked in the actual event. So even though he was a part of it, he wasn't booked in the Rumble and he didn't have a match. But as you can see, he did play an intricate part in setting up the um, rivalry between him and Warrior. Um, and if you look in the picture, like I said, you can see our Macho King just ran down the ringside and pretty much is in the motion of getting ready to blast the Warrior. Also, this was the Rumble where uh, this was Hogan's first win in the Royal Rumble. So he won by eliminating the Earthquake. I think this was his second one. Actually, let me take that back because I think he won the one before this, which was him eliminating Perfect. So Let me correct myself. Uh, he won that first one, and then this was actually the second one that he won by eliminating Earthquake. And now we're going to move on to Royal Rumble 1992, and I think this one is the Rumble that sticks out the most to everybody. When you ask them about one of the Rumbles, or what do you remember most about any of the Royal Rumbles, I think this is one of the main ones uh, that remember. And this actually, the card was pretty stacked because you had Roddy Piper beating the Mountie and winning his first singles title, which was the Intercontinental title. You had the Natural Disasters against the Legion of Doom. But the one that sticks out the most, and as you can see, we recreated, was Ric Flair coming in and I think he came in at number 8. It was either 6 or 8. And he went on to win vac I can't talk today, y'all. The vacant WWF world title. And this also was where the rivalry built up between Hogan and Sid Justice at that time, because if you remember right, Sid eliminated Hogan, and then Hogan pretty much continued to try to pull Sid over, and that's how Flair ended up winning by eliminating Sid. So as you can see in our picture, uh, we just recreated that moment when, if everybody remembers that famous line, with a tear in my eye, Flair gave that awesome promo, which he talked about coming in to the WWF and becoming the World Heavyweight Champion and blood, sweat, and tears and all the other wonderful stuff. If you haven't checked out that promo, go back to 1992 Royal Rumble, and it was great promo, great moment, and definitely one of those moments that sticks out to this day. All right, so now we're going on to Royal Rumble '93, and this Royal Rumble was, I would say, mid, as the young people like to say. Uh, you had the Steiner brothers against the Beverly brothers, Shawn Michaels against Marty Jannetty, and you had Brett against Razor for the world title. But the one thing that people kind of remember was the way Macho Man went about in this Rumble. And as you can see, the part where we're recreating is when it came down to the Final Four. So the Final Four came down to Bob Backlund and the Model, and then Yokozuna and Macho. And obviously, Model and Backlund got eliminated. But what most remember about this was Macho getting Yokozuna down, and then when he hit him with that elbow off the top rope, he tried to pin him, which was the weirdest thing because Macho, being a veteran, would obviously know, like, why are you trying to pin this man? And then the way he gets eliminated is that Yokozuna just basically kicks out and tosses Macho over the top rope. Yeah. So that was one of the, it was kind of like, nah, or like, that was a weird way for him to get eliminated. But that was one of the things that sticks out when we think about that Rumble. And now we're moving on to Royal Rumble '94. Now I think this Rumble had a lot going on. You had Tatanka against Bam Bam. You had the Quebecers against Brett and Owen for the tag titles, which was actually a good match. You had Razor against IRS for the Intercontinental match. And then a couple of things that happened in this Rumble, but the one we chose to focus on was this particular match between Yokozuna, the casket match between Yokozuna and the Undertaker. And if you remember, in this match, it took like 7 guys to defeat the Undertaker and to get him into that casket. So the part where we pretty much recreated, as you can see, you had the head shrinkers come in, and he hit him with that uh, flying splash. Then you had Bam Bam. He had Bam Bam come down the system. You had Diesel come in. You had I think Kabuki. Oh, I forgot the guy that looked like Kabuki name. You had him come in. Um, and then, Jeff Jarrett came in and helped him. Like I said, it was about 6 or 7 guys that came in and helped them put Undertaker into the casket. And also during that Rumble was basically where we had the co-winners, and that was the first time that we had the co-winners happen in that Rumble, which was Bret Hart and Lex Luger. So, which was kind of odd because we have never had that happen again. But I think for uh, the sake of 2 big name stars and trying to set up the main event for WrestleMania, and knowing now the direction of WrestleMania, I think it worked for that time. And then our next picture, as you can see, we're still hanging with the '94 Rumble. And this picture was one that I really wanted to do because the moment when Undertaker was in his casket, and pretty much you had all the heels who felt like they had killed the Undertaker, and then the lights went bright, and you seen on the screen Undertaker speaking and basically telling them that his soul would not rest in peace. And for those that don't remember the backstory of this, or who don't know the backstory of this, was pretty much the Undertaker had a back injury at this time, and they wanted to give the Undertaker a break so that he could heal, but they also didn't want to make the Undertaker look soft. So to keep the image of it taking 7 guys to beat him and that type of thing, he still lost so that he could take a break. But at the same time, you left the door open that so that he was still telling people like, "Hey, this isn't done. Trust me, I'll be back." And when you see him give this speech of his soul will not rest in peace, then you see the lights go out, and all of a sudden you see the iconic uh, silhouette kind of going up into the air. And I actually found out regarding that, what's been almost 30 years later, that was Marty Jannetty that was going up. That was the silhouette representing the Undertaker, which was new news to me. I did not know that, so now I'm sharing that news with you. But yes, definitely an iconic moment. And if you ask anybody from when it comes to the Rumble '94, I guarantee you this was on their list. And now we're going to Royal Rumble '95. And in my personal opinion, this was one of uh, WWF's weakest Royal Rumble. You pretty much had Jeff Jarrett against Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental belt. You had the Undertaker against IRS. Uh, and you had Diesel against Brett. Now, obviously, on paper, these seem like good matches, but overall, I mean, it was a lackluster event. So, like going back to the Diesel Brett, that ended in a draw. Yeah, on paper that was great, but ended in a draw. Undertaker and IRS. I mean, that seems like a mugging when you for Undertaker. And then you had I guess out of all of those was Jeff Jarrett defeating Razor and becoming the new Intercontinental Champion. And then in terms of the Rumble, you really had a lack of star power in this Rumble. So pretty much you had the final two, which was Sid and Bulldog, and I mean not Sid, Shawn and Bulldog. Uh, and I think Shawn actually came in at number one. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think Shawn was number one and Bulldog was number two. And they pretty much carried the event. And like I said, again, lack of star power, they pretty much, to me, it had to come down to those two. And it was actually one of the shortest events because I think that Rumble only went 30 or 40 minutes and it was pretty much over. And as we know, Shawn Michael would go on to win. And now for our final Rumble of this episode, we are going back to uh, the 1996 Rumble. And again, this was a pretty decent Rumble. When you think of this Rumble, you had matches like Ahmed against Jeff Jarrett. You had the Smoking Guns against the Body Donnas. You had Goldust actually winning the Intercontinental title from Razor. So you had decent matches. Wasn't the greatest card, but they were pretty. It was better than '95 in my opinion. And then of course, the part that we ended up recreating was uh, the moment right before Shawn Michaels would win his second Royal Rumble and back to back Royal Rumbles. Because remember, he won in '95, and then of course he would end up winning in '96. So as you can see, we got Diesel clotheslining Kama which he would end up eliminating Kama. And if you remember, Sean basically ended up pulling himself back over the ropes and super kicking Diesel to eliminate him and win the Royal Rumble 96. So hopefully this has taken you down nostalgia road. And obviously with the pictures, hopefully we brought back some of those memories from childhood and some of those memories that was equated to the WWF and those early 90 days when wrestling was at its peak. So hopefully we were able to get that to you. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe, as we appreciate all of this support. And also make sure you hit that notification button so that you know when we upload a new video, because we have quite a bit more coming. We at least have one more Royal Rumble series that we want to do. We'll be preparing for our WrestleMania series. And then we have some of the other pay-per-views, such as Starrcade, Halloween Havoc, the Monday Night Wars, we got Nitro and Raw. So we got many other pay-per-views from WCW and WWE. Like we continue to say on our channel, we don't discriminate. We are wrestling fans, so therefore we target all wrestling. So make sure you check those out. And if you're into figure photography, we got a section just for you. So swing over there and check out all our recreation-based figure photography of different events that probably bring back great memories for you when you see them. So with that said, thank you guys for watching and listening. And until next time, y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay blessed. And with this weather, y'all stay warm if you're in a cold climate. All right. Talk to you guys later.